Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Northwest Weaponry. This is Thomas, and today we're doing another part 2 video. This time on the Smith & Wesson U.S. Army model 1917. This is a 45 ACP revolver fed with moon clips, or as I've got in my pocket, half moon clips. As with other part 2 videos that we've done, demo of this has been done in the past, a full-length demo. This was actually one of the first revolvers that we took a look at, I believe. And yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces. It was one of the first really cool pieces that I got, in my opinion. World War I U.S. Army. Gotta represent the U.S. in my collection to as much of a degree as I can, at least, especially considering I am, in fact, an American. But let's go ahead and put a cylinder through this thing. Got 6 shots loaded. That's a little more like it. I've always actually performed fairly decently with this revolver. Especially by comparison to others from the era. It's just a really well-built gun. As you may recall from the original demo, and again, a link will be in this video description for the original demo, the 1917 revolver actually outnumbered the 1911 in the field several times over. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe it was at least 2-1. And that actually goes for both the 1917 revolver and the 1917 rifle, as opposed to the model 1903 rifle at the time. I did finally get my hands on a 1911. You may have caught the short that we posted recently. So, really excited about that. That's something that's been like a holy grail gun for me for quite some time. But let's see if we can get a little bit of redemption here. We only missed 2 on the last one, but I'm going to do 3 double action and 3 single action, starting with single action. There we go. I like that. No misses, no complaints. And again, this is definitely one of the pieces in my collection that I am most fond of. And 45 ACP being so widely available here in the US, it's definitely an easy one to get ammo for. They're not cheap though. These revolvers, both the Colt and the Smith & Wesson, I've actually seen a couple of the Colts recently hovering right between $1,500 and $2,000, and I've seen them sell for that. I recently was aware of the location of at least 4 of the Colt variation of this revolver, and 2 of those 4 are gone. And the last 2 Smith & Wessons that I saw were about the same price, and again, they sold. So definitely not a cheap piece, but a very cool one. Got 6 more. Let's go ahead and do all double action this time. One miss, not bad. Again, this is a revolver that I perform fairly well with, especially considering the age and, the fact that it is a 45 ACP revolver. You're absorbing 100% of the recoil with your hand. It is fairly heavy, so it doesn't translate to being that horrible of recoil, really. But by comparison to other revolvers from the era, like the Webley Mark 6 and 455, that, though it's a large caliber, is actually a pretty slow-moving bullet, so the recoil in your hand isn't too horrible. Or the Lebel revolver, for instance, model 1892, that thing has like no recoil whatsoever. And at the same time, the Russians were using the Nagant revolver model 1895. They used that, from 95 all the way through World War II and beyond. And that's a tiny little caliber. I guess the only other one that I have that's similar era is the Rost and Gosser, and that's an 8mm with 8 shots. It's an interesting one. We'll be bringing that one out as soon as I get ammo for it. We'll be bringing that back out for a part 2. But yeah, by comparison to other revolvers of the era, this is a absolute monster. But anyway, I am freezing half to death. It is cold out here. Getting out to do some shooting in the future could be kind of difficult for the rest of the winter. I do have some private property I can shoot on that's a little lower down in elevation, so might be able to get somewhere that there's not as much snow, but today was about as much as my truck could handle to get up here. So getting out to do shooting videos might be kind of interesting going forward, but trying to get a good little batch of videos in the bag for you guys that I can post over the course of December and into January a bit. So anyway, hope you guys looking forward to what we got coming down the pipeline. Got some cool videos. Got a demo of the Radom probably next. Meanwhile, it's been Thomas, Great Northwest Weaponry. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.